They broke my arm and then pushed me on the ground and left me. What people don't seem to realize is that the bully is also a victim. My name is Lena Soleil, and for these past 5 months, I have devoted my time to researching the psychological truths behind bullying. Specifically, why people grow up the way that they do, why a bully has so much anger, and the future consequences on the subject we consider the victim. About a week ago, I asked a random group of people what words came to their minds when I mentioned bullying. Let's take a closer look.
Mean.
Nasty.
I feel like they find satisfaction in abusing the weak.
They're cruel.
Scary.
They intentionally want to hurt people.
It's violent.
Uncaring.
Selfish.
It's trash.
Heartless.
It's messed up.
Their goal is to put people down.
Maybe they're just helpless.
Hi, my name is Tyler Shonk. I'm 19 years old, and I'm from the west side of Columbus, Ohio. I lived with my real mom for a little while, and she left, so growing up, I lived with my real mom for a little while, and she left, so me and my dad moved up Arlington, but I was still, hanging out on the west side a lot, and hanging out with some people I probably shouldn't have, and trying to see my mom and her leaving. I was angry all the time. So I took it out on others pretty much. Just like trying to start fights, you know what I mean? Like just picking at somebody until like they got agitated enough to fight, and then when they fight, hit them or call people names, just make people just bring people down for no reason. And then I don't know, I think part of that is because of my real mom, just because she left, and I just never got over it. My mom leaving. She took my one little brother away from me and my one little sister away from me. I haven't seen them in about 8.5 years. And, I have a stepmom and my, real dad, and I live with them, so living with them was, fine. Like, my stepmom really stepped up and became a mom, gave me the love and the time of day, be a mom to me. And I consider her my real mom, but for a long time, I was, we're just really angry, always picking on somebody, hanging out with kids that picked on other people too. One time, pretty much for no reason, I punched this kid straight in his face in the locker room. And, he tried to swing back, and I kept hitting him and hitting him and hitting him. And I just, we just picked on people. I mean, it didn't matter. I was angry, I wasn't thinking clearly. Didn't really care about, myself at all. Really just, didn't care about school or anything, or sports, any of that. I just, hung out with some bad kids. I was on the west side a lot, hanging out with bad kids. And since then, well, I'm 19 now. I leave for basic training 2 weeks after the summer is over. I have a job. I have decent grades now. I have good grades now. And I scored high on my ASVAB for the Army, and I'm currently enlisted in the Army right now. Hopefully, if I like the Army enough, I'll make it a career, because school really isn't my thing, but if not, I would like to go to school for being like a teenage psychologist. Honestly, guys, it's not worth it. You get a horrible reputation from it. And people you wish you could be friends with, you can't be because you picked on them in the past or you've treated them wrong. It's just don't do it. It's easier to be happy than it is to be angry.
I just had a group of friends who didn't really... More during this interviewing process. I interviewed a former victim of bullying about her past experiences. However, she asked to remain anonymous during this interviewing process.
Something that's happened before is my bullying experience has been in ways like the Mean Girls type way, and I just had a group of friends who didn't really treat me the way a friend should treat each other, and they just say things to me that weren't something you should say to like anyone in general, but even someone who you trust and think of as a friend, and they just kind of bring you down all the time. Something that's happened to me before is I've just had my friends one day they just told me that I was annoying and that I wasn't they didn't want me to like hang out with them or be around them anymore just because apparently they just didn't want me around, and it affected me and just made me feel like I wasn't worth much, not anyone like that. People just didn't want me around. And with my family, I just became very angry. I was always like angry at my mom for no reason, and I guess that just kind of came from the bullying. I coped with it just finding other things, like listening to music and reading, just keeping my mind off things, and that helped. And I also did some bad things like self-harming. And when I went to the mental hospital, it was kind of about the bullying, not really. It just kind of, I guess, bullying didn't help with much. It made it worse. But going to the hospital and learning some coping skills was nice, and to see other kids who went through these things and to learn from them. My advice to people is not to care really about what people think, because it doesn't. I mean, just high school or whatever school, wherever you're at, there's kids who have nothing much to do, and if you just cut that out of your life and ignore it, it makes it best. And obviously they're going to be like annoyed that you don't care, and that's going to bother them, and it's good to just not listen to what people have to say, because you should be able to yourself, and it shouldn't matter
Miss
what
Mack
others
at
think.
Upper Arlington High School in order the perspective that teachers I interviewed ESL teacher Miss Mack at Upper Arlington High School in order to receive the perspective that teachers share on bullying.
One morning I was at an elementary school, second grade classroom, and I was working with a student at a common table where there were other students working alongside us. And my little student I was working with wanted to fix the broken eraser. Now this is an eraser that we all know, and it was cracked and it had broken in half. She wanted to fix it. So she went to go find some glue. Another student at the table started to make fun of that because they thought, well, why do you want to fix an eraser? She wanted to go ahead and do it, and she was very, very focused about wanting to do it. But then another student at the same table said, no, you're not supposed to play with the glue. So she went and got the glue anyways, later on. She put it together, and she tried to keep the eraser closer to her. But one other student was trying to grab it from her. She managed to hang on to it. And then when she got up to walk away to go sharpen her pencil, one of the students at the table picked up the eraser and broke it. And then when the little girl came back to the table, one little girl said, "Jessie, look, someone broke your eraser." And all three of the other kids left. Okay, so she went back to the glue, where the kids can find the glue, and got the glue again, and glued it again. And then another student grabbed the eraser out of her hand and started running around the classroom with it. So that to me is somewhat of an incident of bullying. They were making fun of something, but it was also very hurtful. It was not really making the one little girl who wanted to fix the eraser feel comfortable. So that's just one little incident. But then I know with the older kids, bullying has really, really increased due to text messaging and things that kids can really do silently and secretly behind other kids' backs. And it's terribly, terribly disheartening to see children and kids, adult teens, behave this way with each other and interact with each other in this way. It's very unkind, and it's something that needs to really have attention, and big people like myself need to help whenever we see or sense something going on, because it in many cases can save a broken heart.
Over the course of my research, I have focused on several different forms of bullying awareness and prevention, one of which includes a bullying awareness wall that I have been working on for the past couple months with a student at Upper Arlington High School. This is Sarah. She's a freshman at Upper Arlington High School, and her and I have been working on this bullying wall of awareness for the past couple months, and we're hoping that it'll raise awareness to the students at the school and allow them to become more open-minded and respectful of others, because you really don't know what happens behind closed doors. A couple things we did for this wall was we put up facts about bullying. We posted poems and different types of writings from former victims and former bullies together. We're trying to create a sort of connected environment with the wall. And also we have this petition right here which says, "I support awareness." Students and children living at home where they can be happy. Our wall is still in progress, but we're hoping that within a couple weeks it'll be finished and ready to be presented to all the students at the school, and hopefully it'll create some sort of improvement in the respect shown within the student body. We need to capture the problem from the sole source, which is the bully, and create an environment for students and children living at home where they can be happy and comfortable, because their home life really reflects on the way they act to others. The victim of their own mind. Bullying is an epidemic, a repetitive cycle, and if we step in and solve the problem at an early stage, it will allow for an improvement in future generations. After all, a bully is a victim of their own mind.